Bismillah. You see, the goal of Prime Minister Netanyahu was not to establish peace between Palestine and the immoral state of Israel. Prime Minister Netanyahu wanted and is still desiring to take over all of Palestine. Next, you need to understand a crucial point. When the bombs are dropped, they might not be dropped directly by Prime Minister Netanyahu. However, who needs to give the permission for that bomb dropping? In this case, it's not only the permission, he is the driving force behind the bombing. Do you think a person who has no issue with bombing babies has any desire for peace or any ethical standpoints? Let me emphasize that statement again. He is fine with burning babies alive. If you bomb them, you are burning them alive. Because of this, do you think the man in charge of Israel, that is, the Prime Minister Netanyahu, do you think that this man cares about the people taken hostage? If you look at the streets of Israel, what will you see? Right, even the Israeli people have understood that Netanyahu does not care for the people taken hostage. There are mass demonstrations to get rid of Netanyahu from his current position.
Rallied across the country for yet another Saturday to put more pressure on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to strike a deal. There have been mass demonstrations in the past 2 weeks after the bodies of 6 captives were recovered.
Hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets in Tel Aviv calling for a deal to bring back the remaining Israeli captives. Now, family members of those still being held in Gaza say that Netanyahu is neither capable nor willing to accept a deal.
However, because of the current war situation, it is difficult to replace Netanyahu with another Zionist. So, in order to remain in the position of power, he needs this war to continue. As soon as the war ends, Netanyahu will be kicked out of office. After that, he needs to appear in court and give some explanations. He is charged with crimes. You see, Prime Minister Netanyahu had many opportunities to get a peace contract with Hamas. However, how is Hamas to work out any peace agreement with someone who has no desire for peace?
Mr. President, do you think it's time for Prime Minister Netanyahu to do more on this issue? Do you think he's doing enough?
No. Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, is a warmonger, opening a war not only against Gaza. Benjamin Netanyahu attacked the Iranian consulate in Damascus, and then he killed Ismail.
Netanyahu and other Zionists want all of Palestine. They already created a big jail where the Palestinian people had to live and are living. They did not have the right to vote. They cannot live in certain places. They cannot marry whom they want. They even cannot visit other countries without Israel allowing them to. Let us say you were allowed to leave Palestine, and now you want to visit your family. No chance, my darling. You cannot enter Gaza because Zionists will not allow you to enter it. So if your father is dying in Gaza, no last thing, get a video call via WhatsApp. Points I mentioned to you are common knowledge.
Welcome to the world of double standards. The real test today is for those countries who watched the ongoing massacres and the genocide in Gaza for almost a year and witnessed the systematic destruction and dehumanization conducted by an apartheid regime for decades. So what will your position be now? On which side of history are you going to be on? What will the books of history say about you? What are you going to tell your people if you happen to vote against this resolution or even abstain? What excuse are you going to use to justify such a decision? If you can't vote for peace and justice and against occupation and illegal settlements, how you'll be able to ask for support if one day you're occupied? And what will you say to those who will aim at you and say, welcome to the world of double standards?
Did you know that the Zionist monsters even controlled which food goes into Gaza? They controlled which brand of potato chips can go into Gaza and which not. Now, if you are Zionist, you are screaming, no, this is a lie. Then you're thinking to yourself, why does he know that? People of the world, listen up. We already know that the Israeli regime had that much power that they could turn off the water supplies. No water, no food, no electricities, and no gas.
אנחנו מטילים מצור מוחלט על העיר עזה. אין חשמל, אין מזון, אין מים, אין דלק. הכל סגור.
For the moment, just imagine you wanted to turn off the water supplies of the USA or a weaker country like Pakistan. Could I simply turn off the water supplies of Pakistan within one day? Okay, I myself, I'm not powerful enough. Maybe I get a few people. Let us say I have the help of 300 people like me, aerospace engineers. While we know how to build airplanes and rockets, we have no idea where to even start. Let us say we would know the pipes to shut down. Then, do we actually have access to these pipes? Okay, let us say we planned this for 6 months, and now we somehow are able to do it. After doing this kind of rubbish, we would have to face legal consequences. The very point I'm trying to make is you need a ton of time and authority to decide and then actually turn off just the water supply. Forget about food, electricity. Just the water supply requires full control. Now the Zionist is screaming and his blood is boiling. Good. I like it. Before the war started, Israel already had the full control over Palestine. This kind of control is helpful for a lot of things. Among them is Israel soldiers could kill people here and there slowly, but finally they would have killed them all. Kill them all.
Right now.
Now, with the war being active, they literally have the opportunity to kill all the Palestinians. So guess what? They will do everything they can to kill them all. Now, why am I telling you all of this? So that you understand Israel never wanted to get a peace deal with Hamas. Sorry again, Hamas. If they actually agree, Hamas. If they actually agree on a peace treaty, there are other reasons for that. If Prime Minister Netanyahu is thinking about accepting a peace deal with Hamas, it is because of Hezbollah. It is because Israel is afraid of Yemen. It is because Israel is afraid of Iran. And just as a side note, it is not just a war between Israel and Hamas. It is a war between the US and their so-called allies and Iran. And guess what? If the US now cannot deliver more bombs to Israel to kill people there, it is because the Israeli lobby sees some difficulties in controlling the US.
Enough is enough. US complicity in this horrific war must end.
Why can these people be in the Pentagon and make war plans when they have a passport to Israel?
How can they be in the House? How can they be in the Senate? How can they be in the cabinet? How can you be loyal to two nations?
Treasury Department. Do you understand what you're saying? They're dual citizens and they have high-profile positions in our government.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That just sounds crazy to me. And a lot of people don't understand that this is finally starting to come out into the public and people are starting to really see how involved a foreign country is involved in our politics. Where's your allegiance to?
Well, AIPAC says if you ask that,
you're anti-Semitic.
You're anti-Semitic.
Oh no, the blood of the one Zionist is boiling again. I'm enjoying it, thank you. Getting evil people's blood boiling is kind of fun.